For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter. The Otter County Sheriff's Office has released the identity of both the driver and pedestrian involved in Wednesday afternoon's accident south of Fergus Falls. The Sheriff's Office says the driver, 47-year-old Yolveni Rodriguez Quijada, reported her vehicle striking a pedestrian who deputies identified as 13-year-old Ellie Armstrong. Officials say Ellie was grabbing mail from the scene of Highway 1 prior to the accident. She was transported to Lake Region Healthcare for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. In an update on Facebook Thursday, Ellie's father, Tyler, said she was taken to the ICU at Sanford Hospital by helicopter, and her injuries include 2 fractures to her left arm, some lung damage, a brain bleed, liver laceration, and lots of road rash. Tyler says Ellie will need lots of rest, but she is making good improvements. Deputies determined that Quijada was not injured or impaired, and that distracted driving is not suspected. A home in rural New York Mills might be a total loss following a fire Saturday morning. The Otter County Sheriff's Office says the New York Mills and Perham Fire Departments were called to and extinguish a house fire off County Highway 56 at around 5:15. 2 residents were able to escape from the home without injury, along with several animals. Deputies say the home received heavy damage and could possibly be considered a total loss. The incident is under investigation by the Sheriff's Office and the State Fire Marshal, but is believed to be non-suspicious in nature. A dust explosion at the Cargill corn milling plant north of Wahpeton is under investigation. Richland County Emergency Management Director Brett Lambrecht says the initial call came in shortly after 1:30 Wednesday afternoon and was for a hazardous materials incident. He says the Dwight Fire Department, Richland County Sheriff's deputies, and Wahpeton Breckenridge Ambulance responded to the plant. Lambrecht says the dust explosion damaged an exterior metal wall at the plant. 1 person suffered a non-life-threatening injury. A Deer Creek man is being charged for having sex with a 12-year-old child. Prosecutors say 18-year-old Joshua Dale Larson was arrested on Friday for having a sexual relationship with a minor from August 2025 until January 2026. Court documents say the victim's parents reported the crime after their child disclosed that they had had sexual contact with Larson 4 times. Otter County investigators spoke with the victim, who said they had started to talk with Larson when they were 11 and he was 17, and then they started dating. The victim described the relationship as mostly sexual. They told deputies they initially did not want to have sex and said no, but that Larson persisted anyways. When investigators spoke with Larson, he confirmed that he had a relationship with the victim and that it ended because she was, quote, way too young. In a quick search of Larson's phone, deputies found sexually explicit messages between Larson and the victim, including messages asking the victim to send him inappropriate photos and have sexual contact with him, as well as searches regarding pregnancy. Larson told deputies that the searches were because the victim was concerned about becoming pregnant. Larson has been charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct, soliciting a child to engage in sexual conduct, and engaging in electronic communication relating to sexual conduct with a child. He made his first court appearance Monday morning. Sheriffs across Minnesota are warning people about a new scam. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says it has received reports that many local residents are being sent messages claiming they have an outstanding traffic or parking violation in an area they haven't visited recently. These messages often urge the recipient to click a link or scan a QR code and make an immediate online payment to avoid further penalties. These messages are a scam. Courts do not notify individuals of citations or violations through unsolicited text messages, nor do they request payment through links sent via text. The Otter Tail and Grant County Sheriff's Offices are urging residents to remain vigilant and to reach out to law enforcement if you're unsure if something is a scam. The Wadena Police Department says Officer Nick Grabe and Wadena Fire Department Assistant Chief Nate Biderman had the privilege of escorting Noah Coughlin on his cross-country run for America. Noah is attempting to become only the 3rd person to successfully run across all 50 states. He started this leg of his journey in Maine and anticipates completing it in Oregon in approximately 2 months. Subsequently, he will drive to Alaska and run from north to south, ultimately flying to Hawaii and running on the Big Island before planting the flag in the Pacific Ocean. The flag he is carrying was provided to him by the U.S. Air Force and was flown during a combat mission. This morning, the Ottertail County Sheriff's Office escorted Noah from Wadena County into Ottertail County as he continues his journey. At Monday night's meeting, the Fergus Falls City Council authorized the submission of an LCCMR grant application for a multi-use recreational facility at the Pebble Lake Golf Course. The city of Fergus Falls is seeking $2 million from the Legislative Citizen Commission on Minnesota Resources to design and construct a year-round facility on the grounds of the city-owned golf course. This comes after a series of discussions between the city and Pebble Lake Golf Club about the need for a new clubhouse that can operate year-round. Due to the nature of the funding that would be coming from the LCCMR, the plan is to also use the facility to support cross-country skiing, ice skating, regional trail access for bikers and hikers, and provide a boost to summer offerings at the public beach. City Administrator Andrew Bremseth.
What we're trying to do is get this funding, which would provide enough funding coupled with the local pledges that we've heard from the foundation to ensure that, a lot of these things happen without putting it on the backs of the local taxpayers.
As part of the grant, the city would have to put up at least 25% of the funds. However, Community Development Director Clara Beck says the hope is to match the grant 50-50, making the facility a $4 million project. The LCCMR is accepting grant requests for projects that help maintain and enhance Minnesota's environment and natural resources and safeguard Minnesota's air, water, land, and wildlife beginning July 1st, 2027. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorial.com, memorials that matter. For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian. Tune in at 5 o'clock every Friday afternoon on KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Find more stories on KBRFradio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.